Right now from 1-800-LAW-1010 is Paul Harding. Paul, how are you?
I'm well. Good morning. Good morning,
Hey,
guys.
good morning.
Lovey would normally be singing your phone number, but she went to get a strep test.
1-800-LAW-1010.
Ellen, that was not quite as energetic,
I'm
but
sorry.
much appreciated. But
Yeah.
much appreciated.
Yeah, I mean, she came in this morning. Can I sue her, by the way? Lovey came in and said she thinks she might have strep. And I said, why are you here?
And we're all like, we're hanging on for dear life, taking our vitamin C and everything.
So
right.
if it turns out she has strep and she came in here knowing she did and she ruins my vocal cords, can I sue her? She doesn't really have anything. Maybe I can get her GMC vehicle, but
It's pure negligence. Yeah, I think you have a duty when you know you're going down hard to take the day off and not expose everybody to the virus. But
you're my
I
kind
was
of lawyer.
actually just
but
saying
again,
that.
I got to flip it too. Her dedication to the show and the
Yes.
station is a hell of a defense. So
It truly is.
I'm confused.
Yeah, but legally, of course, hopefully it won't hold up. All right, so let's talk about the Mott verdict. No surprise,
Yeah.
I don't think to anybody. No, were you surprised at anything that happened in that trial?
Well, I think the legal community was generally surprised when the jury went out. Everyone was expecting maybe a day, maybe a day and a half, and as the deliberations went on to day 4, it's always at that point the defense is feeling pretty good about it, and of course turned out that he was found not guilty.
You know that clearly, obviously,
Can you refresh the story?
on the Mott case. Go ahead, Paul. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, got to go back about 17, 18 years ago. There was a murder in Troy,
Yep.
a woman by the name of Crozier. And what happened is the case remained open, and they had some suspects, but they could never really put enough together. But what happened is, in my opinion, the most substantial piece of this is they were able to find, believe it or not, a roll of paper towels that they had confiscated at the scene. And on that roll of paper towels were teeth marks, where somebody had bit into that paper towel, or that roll of paper towels, and with the new forensic information, we're able to
Identify.
to link it to a guy named Chapman. And Chapman's trial is coming up in July, and the story was they were all out together that night. So that's where it started. But the trial had all kinds of twists and turns, including Mott's mother saying that her son had confessed the murder to her.
That I did hear. Now, he was found not guilty?
He was found not guilty late last night.
That is... Why?
Well, yeah.
No, seriously, like, what more damning evidence do you need?
Well, I don't think the mother's saying that the son confessed.
If he confessed...
is not, that's still hearsay.
no,
is
but
it
wait,
not, Paul?
it's substantial enough.
Yeah, there were bunch. I mean, his roommate came on the stand and said, yeah, he came home that night with blood
Right.
on his clothes, or what appears
Right.
to be blood on his clothes. No
Right.
forensic testing. What they didn't like is the fact that when you got a case that's that old, 17 years old, again, you've got lots of inconsistencies in stories. So I think the fact that it was old, and they sort of, the jury came out and wanted it read back, was that, well, if we found that he was, in fact, riding in the car with those other folks, that doesn't mean we have to find him guilty of murder, does it? That was a question they
I
asked
see.
late last night, and of course, at that point, I think we all knew where it was going.
So
yeah, it was a shocker.
So to ask you, do you think, after the Casey Anthony and all these other trials, that lawyers are finally getting that their speak to the jury is hinging all these different cases? Like, would they literally come down to ask the jury,
Well,
is making guilty or not guilty verdicts?
That's a great argument. Yeah, I think there's something to that. I think that the more these national trials are sensationalized, the more serious that they look at some of the evidence, which maybe sometimes just 1 and 1 equals 2. I'm not suggesting that it's that simple
I
in this
agree with
case,
you.
But you would argue, I would imagine, beyond a reasonable doubt has to be beyond a reasonable doubt. I mean, if I was sitting on a jury and the only real hardcore evidence was the mother and the roommate
the blood and the
all
friend
that.
and
Well, I mean, did they have any DNA connecting evidence with Mott in the murder scene?
No.
No. Okay, that's a problem.
it is. It is definitely a problem.
It is a problem, and again, the system is set up that 10 guilty people would be released at the cost of 1 innocent
That's right.
spending time in jail. So I think beyond a reasonable doubt standard held up. Again, I didn't. I just know what I've heard in the legal community and what I've read. So again, sitting through that trial for 2 weeks, and those jurors obviously took their job very seriously. They spent 4 days on this after they were probably exhausted with the whole process. So, yeah, Mr. Mott is a free man today.
Well, Paul, always a pleasure and interesting to talk about local and national legal issues with you. 1-800-LAW-1010. Paul Harding. Thank you, Paul.